Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today I've got this 8-inch portable ventilator from Harbor Freight, and I've been doing an awful lot of welding in this barn, and quite often I've got to open all the doors and air it out. Even though I wear a respirator, it gets pretty smoky in here. So I thought we'd take and build a welding ventilation hood that would be portable with this ventilator. So let's check it out. So I love welding, but the fumes are starting to get pretty bad. I've been doing so much of it. So I was on the Indianapolis Fire Department on the confined space rescue team, and we used a ventilator a lot like this to get fresh air into confined spaces. And I figured if it could get air in, it ought to be able to get air out. So we built this little fume extractor. Check it out. My plan is to shoot the fumes right out this window, but I am going to build this mobile so I can also use it up front and just shoot it under the garage door. And here's an old IV pole that I think Maggie got at a garage sale. I tell you what, I had to take it apart just to add some weight to it. I got a little worried about what that stuff down in the bottom is. I hope it was just rust. I had this old 50-pound weight plate laying around, and I figured I'd put it on the base of this just to make it a little more stable. This ventilation system weighs a whole lot more than a couple bags of saline. Since the fan is 8-inch, I decided to try to make this look kind of like a hood. I went ahead with a 12-inch by 8-inch adapter, and then went ahead and threw an elbow on it to get the fumes directed back down towards the fan, and then used my metal flex duct to connect it to the fan. This welder, especially the flux core or the arc welding, throw a lot of sparks, and I didn't want anything that would melt or burn real close to it, so I went with all metal until I got down to the fan. This 8-inch collar was adhesive, and it was really kind of cool, but I didn't want to trust just some glue, and I didn't want to use tape on it, so I go ahead and throw some sheet metal screws in it as well. Don't you just hate it when that happens? This flex duct was really cool, and it does a great job with this, but I'm concerned that if there's anything that's not going to hold up on this whole system, it's going to be this flex duct. Because I want this to be movable and stuff, I just don't think it's going to hold up. That's aluminum 8-inch flex duct, and it was kind of expensive, and I'll tell you what, we'll see how long it lasts. Hopefully a while. So I needed both ends of this elbow crimped. And I used to have a pair of the crimping pliers that did this, but here are a couple other ways you can do it, using a hammer or just some pliers. And these welding nippers work real well for going ahead and crimping that end. So I just took a piece of plywood and made a little holder to hold the adapter that takes this hose outside. And anybody that's ever had a window air conditioner is very familiar with this process. I found this flex duct on Amazon, and it was 38 bucks. This is 8-inch by 25 foot, and it's really kind of nifty. Also, it is probably like a PVC material, but it seems pretty heavy duty. I think it's going to hold up. I think it's actually going to hold up a whole lot better than the aluminum duct work, other than that, obviously, this will melt or burn. That would not be good. It's kind of funny that Harbor Freight sells the ventilator fan, but doesn't have this ventilator hose. Oh well, you can get it off Amazon. That looks pretty good. Let's fire up the welder and see how it does. So I initially had that hood, you know, 12-inch piece, kind of more, whatever, a diagonal, and I moved it more towards a horizontal position, and it did a little better. I'd say this thing is easily picking up 80 to 90% of this smoke, and then, you know, some of it's getting around it, but it's picking up the vast majority. And like I said, the giant cloud that usually accompanies my welding wasn't in this barn when I got done. So I like it. This is a win. I went ahead and captured it outside just so we could see that the smoke is indeed going outside. The other thing is, you know, I was worried about maybe I should pipe it out a little farther outside, but I don't think this smoke is going to be anything that's going to discolor my building or cause any issues as far as, you know, cause a problem on the outside. I think this is vented far enough. Probably the main concern would be that it just doesn't come right back in, which through this window, I don't think it will. Maybe the garage door might be a different story. If I were to put this underneath the garage door or like open a walk door and put it out, I'd just go at least 10 foot out. With that 25-foot hose, I don't think that should be a problem. All right, well, that wasn't a great deal of welding, but I tell you what, if you look along the ceiling, there's not any smoke in here. And my wife tells me that you can smell it, but I can't see it, and none of the smoke detectors are going off, which normally was the issue. And that's why, luckily, with all these garage doors, we just open it up and air it out. But my goal is to not have to do that, because I weld in the wintertime, and out there is cold. All right, well, that's my DIY welding hood extraction system. And I'll tell you what, I think it worked pretty good. That Harbor Freight little fan does a great job. You know, I bought this stuff at Menards, and I think I've got maybe $100 in this. And then the little plastic extension piece I got off Amazon, and it was like 50 bucks. So, you know, it's not cheap, but it's cheaper than a professional system, I'm sure. Well, I like it. I think it worked really well. And if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. It absolutely helps the channel. And we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day and be safe.